So today I decided to make a video that probably won't be of interest to most of my subscribers, but we've got to remember that there are people who are absolute beginners and are all levels of this hobby, and so we're going to take a look at a tiny little microcopter with Wi-Fi FPV, because this is the sort of thing that I started out with a couple of years ago, and I think it's a great entry point for people who are just sort of wanting to take that first dive into getting a quadcopter, seeing if they like it, and then going ahead and spending more money on expensive models. So today we're going to take a look at the Eachine E10WD. This is a fantastic little nanocopter, if you will, incredibly small, and let's take a look and see how it does. So here it is. We've got a nice black, green and white colour scheme. It's all plastic, you'll be able to tell, apart from obviously the motors and the needful metal parts, but this is quite strong, it's quite durable, so this is going to take a lot of bashes, and you'll see that the prop guards have quite a bit of spring in them, so these aren't going to hopefully snap when we crash. They'll just spring into something and fall straight back off if we go into a wall or something. We get a spare set of props, another green and black pair to go with this when we first buy it. Let's take a look at the bottom, and you'll see we've got the battery mounted on here, but the thing I really like about this battery, and that sets it apart from other quadcopters for me, is that it is completely removable. You can buy, say, 5 of these or something, charge them all up, and then you could be flying for a good half an hour or so. Most other quadcopters of this size have an internal battery, so you've got to charge them every time you want to play, but this has got a nice removable one, so that's quite good. I'll leave a link to a spare battery in the bottom of the description. The only other noticeable thing on the outside is that we've got the antenna out here. It's actually sort of built into the casing here so that it pushes downwards, so this isn't going to come up and get cut by the props, which is nice, and it's also external, it's not hidden under the body here, so hopefully we might get a tiny little bit more range. So this is the quadcopter controller, sort of a standard thing. It takes 2 double bellies in the back here, and that comes off with a screw there. We've got the power on button, and then we've got the trim buttons on the middle and right hand side here, and obviously the 2 joysticks, which are both centered, so that means we've got altitude hold on this, so as soon as we take off it'll go to a certain height, then we can just go up or down and it'll stay at the same altitude, which is a great thing for beginners. We've also got the rate button here. We've got 3 different modes: slow, medium and fast, and we've got the flip button here as well, which will do forwards, backwards, left and right flips, or rolls if you will. You'll notice we've got a little plastic slot in here at the top. That's for putting in our phone holder, so we can just slide that in there and then our phone will be attached in here, and then we can go ahead and fly by FPV or just taking a few pictures with our phone in here. So here's some footage from the quad itself, and you can see it's not amazing quality. This is about 0.3 megapixels I think, but it's what you'd expect from a quad this small. It records over Wi-Fi directly onto your phone, and like I've said, you can fly FPV with this thing, and that's what I'm actually doing for all of these videos, trying to fly with my phone FPV. Once you've been flying with sort of racing quadcopters with very low latency, this can be a bit tricky, but it's actually a lot easier than it used to be flying Wi-Fi FPV. The latency is really quite low on this, so you can actually learn to fly FPV on this, even though it is over Wi-Fi. Obviously, it won't be as good as 5.8 GHz, but it is still manageable, and I would definitely advise it to anyone looking to begin with the hobby. You know, sort of get some maybe Google Cardboard VR goggles and whack your phone in there, and you'll be able to fly and learn to fly FPV perfectly safe indoors. You'll notice the yaw is very jumpy and not quite smooth at all, and I think this is due to the fact that the throttle stick is actually fixed in position, so you don't really get any smooth movement on it, which is quite annoying, but you can see that the pitch and roll are very smooth indeed. Unfortunately, this doesn't have acro mode, but in high rate it's still very good and nice for flying around the house. So anyway guys, that was just a very quick overview of this beginner quad. Hopefully some of you might want to get this and start out and get into the hobby. If you've got any questions regarding this or anything to do with the hobby at all, leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.